This video is going to show you the process for closing a deal from an availability and doing it in such a way that it shows up on your pipeline report in spite of the fact that it is no longer an open listing. I started with an example on your development site that I created for a test property, and I'll just show you real quick. I had set it up for pipeline information. So for example, I've got my project settings, some pipeline information, including the total fees and how much we're expecting in-house. And I even added a couple of people to show how we're going to be distributing that commission once the deal closes. So there is a new option at the top of the menu for the listing called Close This Deal. And when you click on it, it's going to take you to a Close Deal wizard that will be pre-populated with information you might have already put into the listing. It is going to ask you for a few more pieces of information. So for example, a deal close date. This is the key to tell the system that this is now a closed deal. It is also going to ask you for a comp type, and I will work with Zakia to have that pre-populated for your different deal types. But it basically is asking you, does it need to create a lease comp? Obviously not in this case. Does it need to create a sale comp? Should it just be a project? So maybe for referral fees that would be applicable. But in this case it is a sale. And then you can add more information, but for the most part you just click continue. It is going to take you through the same process it would have if you had just changed that availability into a comp by changing the listing status from available to sold. So it's going to verify the property information. There's not much on this record. It's going to verify the comp details, and so you would want to indicate whether or not the deal close date is truly the off-market date. It will automatically fill in for you if it was. You have other options such as why it was removed from the market. You would want to put in your sale comp information, of course, and anything else that's applicable for the transaction that took place. Of course, this is where you would add your contacts, including your buyer, your seller. I'm not going to worry about that right now. I do want to make sure my brokers are on here, and of course they still are. And then it'll tell me I need a client. Yes, I understand. You obviously would want to put a client on there. It'll have you verify the permissions. No worries about that one. It'll default to whatever the standard is if you don't want to mess with that. This form is for actually calculating the fees again, similar to what you did on the pipeline form. And it's going to be fairly simple for you. You just need to pick sale commission. We can get rid of other entries if they're in your way. You don't really need to worry about start and end dates. Those are very lease oriented. The sale price in this case was $4.5 million, and the rate was 3%. So we don't copy that from the pipeline on purpose. Since this is a closed transaction, we want to make sure that we are not defaulting anything, that you have an opportunity to put in the accurate information. And you're pretty much done here. I mean, unless you have additional expenses to add, you can move on. Then it's going to take you to a form that should look familiar, which is the DealShare form. It is similar to the one that is during the pipeline stage, but it has a couple more pieces of information. And you could just leave it the way it is, or you could allow it to calculate the dollar amounts. My apologies. It will verify if fields are not filled in. And then it's going to give you the same billing schedule that you would have filled out during the pipeline process as well. You may need to make some corrections here. You'll see that during the pipeline process I overestimated how much we thought we would be getting off of this deal. You have the option of notifying internally other people that you had entered this record, and if you don't need to do that, you can just click Finish.